Tuesdays with Tawana. What's going on? Yes, it is Tuesday. It's Tuesdays with Tawana. Come on into the place and let us build community together, one episode at a time. In the midst of all that is going on in our world, in the midst of all that's going on in our lives, in the midst of everything, let's just pause for a moment and enjoy each other's company as we share together during the next 30 minutes. I am so grateful, as always, to have breath in my body and to be able to share with my beloveds on today. Today's shirt is brought to you by Mashoud, hailing from Brooklyn, a black owned Afrocentric clothing company that has been in existence for many, many years. And I try to shop there as often as I can. But they are located in Brooklyn, New York. So if you happen to be in New York City and Brooklyn, look them up. Um, it might take a while to order some stuff online. You know, COVID just got everything all jacked up. So if you are there and you're able to be there in person, definitely represent by supporting this amazing black owned business. So let's get it together. Let's chop it up for a little bit on today. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. I know it's a lot of heaviness going on. Let me speak for me. It's been very heavy and very challenging, and from grief of losing my sister to now Roe versus Wade being overturned to black and brown bodies still being dehumanized in our communities. I can probably go on for the next 30 minutes with all of the heinous ills that are happening in BIPOC communities, in LGBTQ plus communities, in impoverished communities, with mass incarceration, uh, with food deserts, with inflation, with gas prices. But for today, hey, Mother Carolyn, good morning to you on the West Coast. Good to see you. But for today, I want to start off just a little lighter, just a little lighter today. I I really want to talk about dating. Um, no subject, no topic is off limits here, and I yeah, I just want to talk about dating as a single black woman in the process of healing, um, an entrepreneur, PhD, Reverend. The list goes on and on. Um, Dating, COVID has definitely messed up the game a bit, but I can't even blame it all on COVID because dating was an issue before COVID, which is a whole story in and of itself. Yeah, Mother Carolyn, let's talk about that. Hey, Mama Lovey in the house from Denver, Mountain Time. So yeah, let's get all of our time zones represented on today. Yeah, so I want to shed some light on. I'm laughing to myself because I know what's going on in my head. And my big brother told me, not everything that goes on up here needs to come out here. So I'm really discerning and really calling on spirit like to guide me through the first part of Tuesdays with Tawana as it relates to dating, right? Because it's tough out here in these streets. It is tough. It is tough when you have beloveds tell you, that you are intimidating, or you have people telling you, that because you are a reverend, or, you know, whatever, just nonsense, nonsense. I got people hitting me up in my DMs now, not on a regular. I'm grateful that I don't get the eggplant pics. Y'all know what the eggplant represents as an emoji. Hey Tony, what's going on? What's good? I need you to chime in as well, even though you are happily married. So yeah, I'm gonna try to help somebody today, including myself, Mama Lovey. So y'all chime in on this dating conversation here, because it's rough. It's rough when um, I was in Denver for 9 years, never dated. I never dated in Denver. Um, if I did want to go out on a date, I came back to the East Coast, to New York, and hooked up with, some old friends. And yeah, that was not sustainable, nor was it a long-term thing, right? It was really it was what it was. And it was good until it wasn't good, right? It just happened. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship, how do you make that happen in this day and age? How do you even meet people? I'm not crazy about dating apps, because let me just call a thing a thing. I have trust issues. So I don't know if you really are who you are on that dating app, right? I don't know. You could tell me anything. I watch Catfish. Um oh, Tony said they don't even care that I'm happily married. Well, at least, no, I'm not gonna, no. At least somebody's expressing some interest, right? Because for some reason, um, and I would love to date a brother, you know. I'm heterosexual. I would love to date a black man, and I know that my attraction, being born and raised in Harlem, there's a certain type of swag, a certain type of black man that I am particularly attracted to. Someone who can kind of throw on some Timbs and some jeans, and at the same time throw on a suit when necessary, and everything in between. That's just how I roll. And outside of dating apps, like, how do you date? How do you make a connection with someone? So someone hit me up in my DM, right? And so we were talking via DM, but never did this before. Never, ever, ever in my life have I chatted with someone in my DMs who was interested in me. And I was a little intrigued by this person. So we then started talking, not exchanging phone numbers. I consider myself a wise woman, so not exchanging phone numbers, but talking through an app, not divulging information like where I live. Mother Carolyn says this subject made me cancel all my appointments so I could listen. Yo, the struggle is real. And I keep laughing. It's kind of one of those laughs where you really fucking like frustrated, but you just got to kind of laugh your way through it to keep from crying. For real. So we were talking, but then it was like, I don't know if this dude is really who this dude portrays to be on IG. Like, is this really you? So I was like, yo, at some point in time, we're going to have to video chat. Because I'm not about to be the story on Catfish talking about we've been talking for a year and I'm really digging this dude and falling in love or whatever and never saw his face, only saw what's on Instagram. I'm not about to be that person. Let's just make that very clear. And I have a Google phone, Tony, but it's for work. Like it's for business. So you can't have more than one Google Voice phone number to a particular phone. So yeah, so that's another problem. Why do I have to go through all of that just to be interested in somebody and go on a date? Like some people, they might connect with Tanisha said, or even if he's a dude, he may not even be a dude. He could be, you know, someone else who is attracted to me, which is fine. I mean, I've been approached by women, and I have no problem with that. That's just not my particular choice. Like, thank you, I'm flattered, and that's just not my lifestyle. Yeah. So yeah. So that part too. So now I got to contend with, are you really you? Then I got to contend with, are you who you say you are, as I am stating and making it clear that I am a heterosexual woman. Are you, a stalker? Are you, I mean, people get killed as a result of these dating apps, right? I didn't even see the Netflix show or whatever it was that talked about um the this guy who claimed to be rich or whatever, and it was all a lie. Tony says, listen, if it tickles your Elmo, then giggle on. But as for me and my lady parts, I prefer manly man. And that's fine. Know what you like, and move forward, right? And this is what like this platform is all about. Centering who we are, our beliefs, who we be, without decentering or demeaning or dehumanizing anybody else. So that's what we do. That's exactly what we do. Mother Carolyn said, I get hit up in my DMs regularly and I don't respond. I don't know who they are, so I keep it moving. You know what, Mother Carolyn? Usually I do too. I delete and block, or block and delete, whichever way it goes. But for some reason, this time, dude was quite handsome. And the conversation was decent until it wasn't, right? So, what do we do? What do we do? How do I even begin to open that door to build a friendship that'll hope possibly lead into a relationship, and building that trust, right? Especially this day and age where a lot of things are happening virtually. People are meeting that are no longer in the same area or same town. Um, People are on these dating apps. And Tony said, LOL, I let Reggie respond to my DM before I bless and block. Yeah, I that's not a good thing to have Reggie respond. Yeah, bet you they won't reach out to you anymore. But really, beloveds, I laugh about it, and but really I'm asking the question, what do we do? I would love to be in a relationship. Um I'm an older woman, know who I am, know what I like, and I would love to be in a relationship. I would love to hang out with my ride or die. Would love to hang out with someone that I can call my friend and my partner. Mother Carolyn said there's nothing wrong with hooking up with a friend you know, getting your needs met, even if it's not sustainable and there are distance issue. At least you are safe until something else can happen. Yes, and yes, ashe and amen. So what and talking about our body, right? So how this connects with Roe versus Wade being overturned, it just, I don't know, but my body and loving my body, and this is my choice. So Mother Carolyn, I affirm what you said. It is okay for me to go and get a little something, or to be intimate with someone that I know and trust, who is a friend with benefits. I don't see anything wrong with that. Other people and their beliefs or their stance or their posture may have issue with that coming from the reverend, but I do believe that all of this is sacred and all of this was created in divinity, and I can share in that existential, beautiful, divine experience with someone else without causing any harm. I think that's the key, right? We're not talking about just hopping from person to person, behaving haphazardly and causing harm to someone, or hooking up with someone that wants more and you don't want more, or the other way around, and you end up hurting that person. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about just that first step of getting in the door and building that relationship that may lead to an intimate relationship deeper than the intimacy of a friendship. Mother Carolyn says, talk about loving your body and it's okay. It's still an act of love. Absolutely. And talking about it and knowing that it is an act of love when we honor ourselves and we honor our bodies and we take care of ourselves. Not for nothing, Mother Carolyn and I, until life happened, Mother Carolyn, and oh gosh, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Mother Carolyn. Maybe I won't share it until I get your permission. But I think we need to have more conversations about sex and about Black women and intimacy because of our history, because of our layers of trauma, because of what we have been through, because of what men have done to us, especially from the time of enslavement until now, and even to this day, taking our rights away. We were not thought about when the Constitution was written. We were not thought about when rights and laws were written. We were not thought about when it came to leadership, voting, working, having a voice, having our say. We were not thought about. So we had to fight for all of these things. And now they are trying, the Supreme Court is trying to take that away from us. The Republicans who put these Supreme Court justices in place have been thinking about this for quite some time and have been methodically putting things together in order for us to lose our rights, including losing our rights to our bodies. Hey, LJ. The nuances of consent. Consent is more than yes. Yes is an answer. It is a conversation. That's probably another broadcast, LJ. Yeah. And having control over our bodies. My no is my no. My yes is my yes. What I want to do and what I choose to do, I have a right to do it because I am in control of my body. At least I am supposed to be until the Supreme Court ruled otherwise. Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Mother Carolyn. So Mother Carolyn, we really wanted to have a conversation about sex and sexuality and intimacy and how do we take care of our bodies, not only as single women, but even when we're in relationships, and really exploring our bodies and understanding how our bodies respond to intimacy. What are our spots? What is it that turns us on? What is it that brings us closer to our partners or to ourselves, in understanding our bodies and not being ashamed of it? Because when the shame comes into play, that's when we don't take care of ourselves, and then we are not cared for. We then are frustrated. We then fall for the okey doke. We then end up having fake orgasms. We then end up being with people that we then end up being with people that don't deserve our divine sexual prowess. And so the list goes on and on and on. And I am not quite sure our brothers or beloved, because I can only speak from a heterosexual lens. And my hope, as we do with this broadcast, is hoping that it'll spark some thought and some conversation in other areas. So if I center Black women, I'm hoping that my Latina women will now have a language to talk about themselves, or our First Nation Indigenous people. So I'm centering heterosexuals, but I'm hoping that this will then spark some conversation in the LGBTQ community. I'm hoping that this will spark some conversation in the Latina community. I'm hoping that other women of color will be able to resonate with this and then start to reflect and think about this whole aspect of dating and being in relationship or being in a sexual relationship, while honoring who we are and honoring our bodies. Hey, Amber Renee Jackson, you know I got to call the whole government name. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's see. Mother Carolyn said, free somebody today, daughter. Yes. Mother Carolyn also says, our partners can't understand what we don't understand about ourselves. You better say that, Mother Carolyn, which is another reason why we really wanted to galvanize women and really have some sexual conversation about our vaginal health and how pleasuring ourselves will then help us in our health, in our whether it's vaginal health or even in our heart health or our emotional health. All of that comes into play, and we don't talk about it because it's so taboo. We don't talk about it in the church. We don't talk about it in public settings. Oh, I'm the reverend. I'm not supposed to be talking about sex and dating, but I'm struggling, beloved, because dating has become a huge challenge, specifically, particularly for the Black woman. Because I'm too educated, because I'm too smart, because I'm too this or too that. Tony said, if you don't know what pleases you, you can't possibly understand and please your partner. No need to fake it until you make it. It's no need. I'm not trying to fake it. I'm trying to be as real as it comes. It is so important that we love our bodies and know our bodies, which is why overturning Roe versus Wade is such bullshit, because you are taking away my choice and my body and my right to make decisions about my body. Full stop. Full stop. Whatever the reason, we can talk about the heinous ills of rape and incest and all of that. I get all of that. But even before that, full stop. My body, my choice, period. Period. If you don't agree with me, don't agree with me. If you don't believe what I believe, don't believe what I believe, but don't take away my human right to make the decision, to do what it is that I feel needs to be done for me and mine. Pastor Holmes is in the building. We date to cover and not to discover. I knew he was going to have something powerful and profound to say. Therefore, the levels of vulnerability and grace that we bring to the table is often limited. The older we get, the more we want to cover and the less we want to discover or have or have revealed, discovered. My, that's a full word right there. Full stop. Full stop. That's where that shame comes in. When we talked about shame earlier, when we start to hide or to conceal our true feelings and our thoughts and what we want and our hopes and our desires, then the shame comes into play because somebody done told you you were naked in the garden. Because somebody done told you wrong. Because somebody done told you that pleasure is wrong or pleasure is not something that we as spiritual beings are supposed to talk about. And oh, how antithetical that is, because it is all about pleasure being intertwined with our spirituality, full stop. Otherwise, God would not have created these spiritual, sensual, sexual, intelligent, emotional beings. We got to feel all the feels and know all the knows about our bodies and have the right to make a decision about it, sacred decisions between me and God. So even to the point where, let me tell you why I'm so concerned, especially about Roe versus Wade. But first, let me insert what Mother Carolyn says. It is the center of the health of our entire body, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Renee, what's up? Sis in the building, my beloved. Full stop. It's great to see you as well, beloved. Tony says, listen, we start regulating their yeah, let's start regulating these shooters, right? And then I bet that'll change the conversation on what they ain't ready for with that conversation. Let's start regulating what they do with their body parts. And someone posted, let's get rid of Viagra and all that other stuff, because if God gave you a limp eggplant, then you're supposed to have one. So let's take that away and see what it does to your being and your essence and your manhood. Yeah, but we're only talking about women, right? Uncover ourselves, discover our needs, and discard our bad theologies about our bodies and needs. Let's talk about sex, sexuality, and intimacy. Yeah. Yeah. We got to talk about it, beloved. We got to talk about it. So, all of that and my frustration with dating or the lack thereof is for a very long time. It was a struggle in Atlanta, it was a struggle in Denver, and now it's a struggle in the DMV. And how do we get to a point where you see me as this beloved human being that wants to be in relationship, whether it's a friendship or an intimate sexual partnered relationship? How do we get to that point when our Black men are demeaned and degraded and dehumanized at every wake and turn, being killed unjustly, being incarcerated, stripping them of any ounce of honor? So how can then you see the honor in me that you don't see in yourself? How can you see the dignity in me that you don't see in yourself? But come on. Yeah, the disparities between Viagra and birth control. Viagra is covered 95% by insurance. This is what LJ says. And 17% for birth control. I believe it because we always get the short end of the stick as women. Always. Roe versus Wade now, what's next? Brown versus Board of Education, both birth control. It's nonstop. And let me tell you why, another reason why it's nonstop. But let me insert the Reverend Dr. Valerie Jackson. Yes, my body, my choice, and I don't need special narratives to make my choice and my decision acceptable to anyone. My choice, my body, my life, period. Period. Full stop, beloved. Full stop. What's amazing about this conversation, and it started with dating because everything is so intertwined and intersected, right? There's this intersectionality going on, right? Where the root of it is the oppression and the marginalization, the true intent of intersectionality, which then was co-opted by other people and groups or whatever. But I want to say this about being a cancer survivor and being in treatment, active treatment for metastatic breast cancer. When I go to the doctor and when they want to change my regimen and I mean, I've been, thank you God, surviving 5 years, going on, completing 6 years in November. Many of the doctors, if not all, many of the doctors say, these are your options. And it is your choice on what you want to do. You can either take chemo, not take chemo. You can do a clinical trial or not do a clinical trial. You can go the holistic route. You can ride this thing out. Whatever it is that you want to do, it is your body and your choice. And I am here to make sure that you make an informed decision about what you want to do. And at the end of the day, it is your choice and I support you. Full stop. So, beloveds, as we end this broadcast today, and clearly we're going to have to do a part 2 on some dating because I'm going to need y'all to bring some stories into the conversation on next week when we talk about dating or the lack thereof. But it has a lot to do with our bodies and our beings and how we show up in the world and the nerve of the government to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body because you don't care about this Black body. You don't care about this Black life. You don't care about my Black children. You don't care about my Black community. You don't care about my Black beloveds. You don't care. And it was very obvious during this heinous decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. So now we think this is the end of it. Courtney said it well, and your boy Clarence Thomas said it even better. Now it's time to go after same gender loving relationships and marriages. Well, let's go back to a time when interracial marriage was illegal. Then, boo, you couldn't even marry your wife. And they use scripture to justify it. Slaves, obey your masters. Women, be silent. This particular group is of this tribe, so this tribe is evil, and this tribe, or this not even a tribe. They're not a tribe. These people are supreme, supremacist, racist, hateful, thinking about themselves, narcissistic, sociopaths, they are misogynists. It's horrific. But beloved, I can't leave you here. I can't leave you being frustrated, whether it's frustrated sexually, frustrated intimately, frustrated with the decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. I can't leave you there. Because you know what? We may not see it, And it may seem very disheartening right now, and the tears may continue to fall, and the fear might set in. But we, beloveds, we are powerful beings, and we have the power to be the change we want to see. We have the power to turn this around. And it may not happen tomorrow, but we got to keep fighting. And like on a call last night with a bunch of womanists, we can't have short-term memory. We got to make sure that all of these fights stay at the forefront from now to November and beyond. In these midterm elections, we must make sure that the people that we are voting for honor our bodies, honor our humanity, honor who we are as fully human and fully divine, and not taking us back to the place where we were 3/5 of a human, not taking us back to the place where we were raped with no consequence, not taking us back to the place where our beloved brothers were castrated, not taking us back to the place where our families were separated, not taking us back to the place where we were deemed not worthy enough of the crumbs off of their table. So on today, I encourage you to hold on to a hope defined by Dr. Alan Bozak, who was very instrumental in abolishing apartheid in South Africa. Hope has two daughters, two beautiful daughters. Anger, and their names are Anger and Courage. Anger at the way things are, and the courage to make sure they don't remain that way. So, beloved, let's take that anger and that courage and have hope to change these systemic ills that have been happening for countless years since the inception of these here yet to be United States. Let us join together. And as the womanist call ended last night, we were reminded, don't forget to take care of yourself. Go get you some. Make sure you pleasure yourself. It's a part of who you are as a human being. It is your body. Explore your body. Love your body. Feel your body. I tell folks to feel their bodies when I'm talking about cancer diagnosis and having mammograms and checking for lumps. Well, feel your body for pleasure. Because you got to know your body and love yourself and love your body in order to attract that which will love you and honor you and know how to be intimate with you on deep levels that are beyond words and description. Beloveds, I love you. I am so grateful that you indulged in this conversation with me. We're going to have a little bit more of this conversation on next week. So share this, invite a friend next week, because we are going to continue to talk about our beautiful black and brown bodies. We are going to continue to talk about sex. We are going to continue to talk about loving ourselves. We are going to continue to talk about what we need to do to respond to the systemic ills, including the overturning of Roe versus Wade. This is Dr. Tad. This has been Tuesdays with Tawana. I have had fun chopping it up with you today. I am so grateful for your presence, grateful for your input and your comments. I love you to the moon and beyond, and I will see you on next Tuesday. If anyone has any tips and pointers about dating, please bring it to the table next Tuesday, because I want to go out on a date. I want to have fun. And I want a fine ass brother on my arm when it happens. Okay? Okay. I love y'all. See you next Tuesday. I'm out.